morning. It's a beautiful day, Mzansi. Remember, we are the people, we are the patient, and moreover, we are the game changers. Welcome to the Game Changers podcast. I'm your host, Mohapi Mkereta, popularly known as the Prof. And I'm not alone, I'm with the new and the invisible lady. She will introduce herself in no time, but now, first, new guy.
Hey, how's it, my bro?
Good, man, how's it?
Ah, man. Trying times.
Where have you been hiding?
Hey, man, trying times. Yeah. Yeah, man.
All right. We also have a beautiful lady in our studio, and she will introduce herself. And yeah, but before then, what are you having for Game Changers?
Nothing much, guys. Okay. We have a new lady, the ghost lady.
The one.
Yeah.
Is everyone who is feminine or who's a female
Mm-hmm.
who is not visible in the visuals? Are we all going to call each and every that character? Are we going to characterize them as ghost lady because we saw it from podcast and chill?
Yeah, I think so. It's up to the anonymous to tell us or a ghost lady or what.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
My lady,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good.
You're good.
You.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, for the benefit of our audience, who are you, and where are you coming from?
Yo, I Kim Tlahoma.
Okay.
Taho.
Yeah.
It's a Friday Fort, a very, very, very small town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Babambarake, a big farm. Yeah, that's where I come from.
A big farm.
Yeah,
Why?
that's what they're
Why?
saying. Because, yeah, we don't have a lot.
Or
Then
because
what
there's less infrastructure.
It's a very, very small
then
town.
There's a lot of rural for farming.
We don't really have a lot of infrastructure.
Okay.
Yeah, we could say it's a farming town. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just wanted to understand the logic of them saying it's a big
Farm.
farm.
Big farmer, yeah.
Because when you pass from Paris to Kroonstad, it's only a few kilometers that you're gonna pass. Then you are done with the town, with the big farm.
Yeah.
So I was trying to understand that logic or why they're calling it a big farm. But then, welcome to the Game Changers podcast, and yeah,
You're the host.
Tahomeng, she's the guest
Yeah.
for today, and we're gonna just talk about general issues,
Okay.
including the health as well as elections, and inclusive of education here and there, and obvious the ongoing topic that I think in most of our conversation we'll be having, the issue of equality, because I think it started with you and Larato when you're talking about the children. What was that commission that was held that was looking into the students and their rights?
Right. Come again. South African Human Rights
Commission, yes.
Yeah.
They were looking into the rights of the children, and
Yes.
you're also talking about how far can we go in terms of the accepting your child to choose his or her own gender in
Yeah.
her own accordance, and
Yeah.
how he or she should dress up. I think maybe let us start there on Tlaho, maybe coming to you. How far can we go in determining the rights and responsibilities of individuals, in particularly for the children?
Children's, yeah.
Because we are complaining as parents, we are complaining as elder generation, we are complaining and saying these rights have
taken away.
yes, they have taken away the responsibilities of the children, and they no longer have sympathy, they no longer have respect, they no longer have whatever thing that we deemed as morals back in the days. So now, in our own definition or in your own accordance, do you feel like the human rights that are being given to everyone, inclusive of our children, are they somehow maybe distorted, or are they bringing about a chaos in our society? In anyhow you can answer. What's your opinion in terms of the rights topic and equality?
Rights, equality. Um, I think we're in a different era
Okay.
and everything is changing gradually. How we were raised and how kids are being raised today is a different thing.
Okay.
I'd say we were given tough love, as you would say, and as a result, we followed what we were taught or told.
Mm.
But currently, there's what we call soft parenting. Kids have a say in how they want to be treated or want things to be done.
Okay.
So they do what they think it's right for them, and they know their rights, and parents cannot enforce tough love on them
Okay.
because they know what they want.
Okay. New guy, what do you think?
And her accent change.
Her accent changed
Yes.
from
When she speaks Sotho and
Venek
English.
to Western.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not go there. But
Anna.
we'll discuss that
Hey, about
before we
that.
end the show. But what do you think about her response and her thoughts
Uh,
and your thoughts as well?
I wouldn't agree with her saying kids, they know what they want.
Okay.
I tend to differ on that note because of it's maybe it's we'll say bana le kgatlhego, interest of maybe if a bank in this way, you see. So I will say in some points I agree with her.
Okay.
It's very difficult to raise the kids because of whatever government has put into place to never ushapeban.
To reprimand them.
Yes, because gonna get it was far, you see.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to raise the kids. But then at the same time, I think it's up to you as individual how you're gonna raise your kids because of we know it's very 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 dangerous out there to say ish on a little tokelo you cannot I cannot say anything as a parent. You're gonna let your child suffer, and you know they used to say to us that we live by our choices that we make today are gonna affect us in the future. So yeah,
But again, it comes to, do we speak enough to them to understand if they understand their responsibilities? As much as they have rights, they also come with responsibilities. Do they also consider that?
no, you know, I think parents have given up. Most of them have given
Yeah.
up. Said, "Eish, ngasimetse next.
Yeah.
Ona le tokelo, yabo." We tend to let things the way they are. Then when it's bad, it's like we're waiting to say, I told you.
Yeah.
You see, so it has put parents in a difficult position, especially upcoming parents,
Yeah.
not
The previous ones.
the previous one are still put their hands on whatever they say. You see.
Yeah. So what do you think, Tlago? Do you think the people, in fact, let me put it in most particular the children. I know each and every person has rights and has responsibilities, but do we think the children do have more understanding in terms of their responsibilities of the rights that they have or they have accumulated?
I think they know what's expected of them.
Okay.
They know their responsibilities. It's a matter of choice,
Okay.
you know. There's social media. There are trends that people are following today, which could easily influence their decisions.
Yeah.
like this
You
voice.
could be taught something at home,
Yeah.
but when you get to school, you would be the coolest
Kid
kid
in the block. Yeah.
and easily forget what you have been taught at home, you know. So, like, nkareng, bana ba rata ho kgahlwa,
Okay.
wa bo?
Yeah.
Bana ba rata ho kgahlwa. And I think there are role models everywhere.
Yeah.
Kids spend most of their time at school,
Mm.
and teachers would reprimand, ensure that
Mm.
this that you're doing is gonna land you in hot water one day, you
Okay.
know. But because there's a phase whereby people want to be cool, want to be known, you know, so you would do whatever.
Yeah.
So I think the responsibilities are given, but people make choices at the end of the day.
But have we created enough in our society? Have we created enough role models? Are we enough, especially us? Because if you can check now, the people who are setting up the trends are the 80s, 90s, um, who are leading this 2000 or millennials to 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 be interested to whatever they're interested in. Because now we're gonna say, these kids are always jiving, they're listening to Amapiano and stuff. But we are the ones who have created Amapiano, we are the ones who have created the trends, we are the one who have created today's technology. So, but are we being enough in terms of being the role model in which they can look up to, or should the criteria of role models only be limited to celebrities?
Tlago.
Not entirely.
Yeah.
I think you can everybody has a right, you know, to choices at the end of the day. Your mother
Yeah.
could model something to you, but because your mother's lifestyle doesn't really interest you, you're
Okay.
looking to someone on social media,
Yeah.
you know, then you don't take anything from your parent, but that particular person that you're looking at.
And that is the question that I'm asking, that are we portraying enough image that is responsible and that is articulative to guide a young person who's looking up to you?
I think so. There are great role models.
Yeah.
There are great people who are living in their purpose.
Yeah.
It goes back to a choice, decision making.
And when I'm asking this, I'm asking in particular for um, the majority rather than the minority.
Okay.
Are we like, is the majority portraying a good image to these children and to us as well? Because we can be role models amongst one another. Are we portraying a good fellowship image, or is it because are we portraying this glamorous image that have luxurious lifestyle and stuff like that? And you guys, I don't know, man, because you are always also on tweet. If you check on your timeline, does your timeline passes without you seeing a nyash in your timeline?
No comment. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with Tlago.
Mm.
It goes by choice, no?
Yeah.
Because of there are decent people there who know, even if they are playing on a piano, but then it doesn't put them as their character. So I think the choices that individual makes them who they wanna be or what they choose to be. So we're doing our best as individuals to become a better person, and we hardly find the right way to do it. Sometimes o tlo rekisa nyashi. Yeah. Yeah, well, so
Yeah.
and we need to realize the fact that the world is changing,
Yeah.
and things cannot be the way
we
when
used
we
to.
grow.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. So it plays a too much impact in our life.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
okay, you wanted to say something. Okay, so you're saying it is because of the progression that the world is witnessing.
Mm.
But at some point, are we not trying to become what we are told to become? Like, for instance, the for me, I feel like this setup of democracy, they've sold it up to us,
Mhm.
inclusive of the communities that have been emerging. Because when you check most of the things that are westernized, in most cases, you can find that there are a lot of funding that are going behind the scenes. Similarly into this, and guys, don't get me wrong, I'm not against LGBTQ, but I'll
Yeah,
always
yeah.
make examples with them because that is the closest thing that I've also
And
seen.
attack him, not me.
I don't have a problem, but we'll tell the truth as it is.
Mhm.
You know, we we understand and we have seen some of the organizations that are coming from the LGBTQ community. They have been funded so that they can push the agenda of um their their uh, their own shaping of the world and how people should be able to but for me, I don't think it has created enough understanding rather than more of a confusion, because we grew up knowing that a male is a male, a female is a female. Of what you can be a transgender in between, or you can be a male while you are carrying the body of the female. We I don't understand that, and the nature in which I follow doesn't make sense in that regard. So I don't know. What do you think about uh, such
Influence.
influences that you are now envisaging in the new age? I'm putting you in the corner.
No, already you have put me in a corner,
Yeah.
so please
Yeah.
don't kick me while at it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I'll be thinking. Can continue conversing, thinking about it.
You are thinking about
Yeah.
it. So for me, that is that new guy.
Mm.
I think some of the things are not from the progression per se,
Mhm.
but it is because there's an agenda of certain people, of certain groups, of certain individuals that are pushing their own interest and at the expense of the morality and the goodness of the people.
Yeah,
And that's what I think from my side.
yeah, I agree with you, and Prof. In this basis, we are here sitting here
Yeah,
trying to push our propaganda.
yeah,
So I don't see the problem, and it goes to back to what she said. It's a choice.
mm,
Uh, Everyone is pushing his or her ideology somewhere
mm,
somehow.
mm.
So it's up to the individually to be aware for the certain of things and could as I always say, there's no formula for life.
Mm.
So we gotta be careful and we gotta decide what we want.
And that is the thing when it comes to when I ask if we understand our responsibilities, because I think one of the responsibilities in terms of our human rights is to you don't want your your rights to be infringed.
Mm-hmm.
So your responsibility in return is for you to make sure not to infringe other people's rights.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we have been doing, even though we are pushing our own agenda. But
Mm.
our agenda have been infringing other people's rights. And if we are not infringing deliberately, it's understandable.
Mm.
But if we are deliberately infringing my rights, like I can go and to your yard or your house, and I can go and shoot you. Once you shoot back and you retaliate, then you can be caught. You can go to jail for just protecting yourself.
Yeah. I just remember something. Uh, there was an article that I read that was talking about the movement of the cars.
Okay.
Why the certain um, countries are moving on the left, why the certain countries are moving on the right.
Why is that?
Yeah. Eh, At first, during Roman empires,
Yeah, okay.
they were using their right and hands to hold their what do you call it, scepter.
Okay, yes.
Yes, they were using on the right hand side. So
Okay.
that's why they were moving on the right hand side with their on the
Left
left
hand
hand
side.
side with their
Okay.
horses. So uh, um, ntho ya ho nka the other countries where you call it on that it's running away or colonization.
Or
Yes,
colonialism. Yeah.
yes. When they did that, they enforces the country that they colonized
Mm.
to follow their beliefs.
Yes.
So um, after the other countries win their independence,
Mm.
they chose to move to right to left because of they were against of that colonization idea.
Okay.
So that's why you see other countries are moving left and left, the others are moving from
Mm.
right to left.
Okay.
So the everything it begin at the colonization.
Okay.
So the idea of followers it will
Mm.
always be there. So hence I'm saying we're gonna live by choices, but at the end of the day, you're gonna follow someone's idea. You are unable to depend on yourself. Like for instance, now I've watched your change of mind in Christianity. There are people who are shaping you to go to that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So we are always gonna follow someone. It's always like that. It's a human nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to get your point. What were you trying to pass,
What I'm trying to say that the ideology,
especially on responsibilities? Yes.
um, yes, you as individually you're gonna say okay, ke batla go phela so, but at the end of the day, there are things that you will compromise. Or I cannot do this because of this, because of, for instance, batho ba bona ba bolela ele ma Christianity,
Yeah.
then you are still attached to that. You are still attached to the Christianity and the way it's like in a form of ya gore ho kenya fear towards people. So it's not something as simple to it's more wena as individual. There's always gonna be that fear, that
That's part of your
conscious,
lifestyle.
yes, you see. So I think it's very difficult for any kind of person or I'm gonna do this. Yes, there are things you're gonna do it outside fog, how we move.
Yeah.
But then the way into the longer thing, it's challenging.
Any thoughts that you have, Tlaho? So that means we most of the times we are countries without any form of agenda moving forward. Or is it only us in Africa or only us in South Africa who don't have agenda? Because remember, even America have what is it? What is that agenda of America? To make America great
Okay,
again.
make America great again.
Again, yes.
Yeah.
And China, they also have their own agenda, even though I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And also inclusive of Russia, they also have their own agenda. Is it only us as African countries that don't have our own agenda and being proud and pride of our customs and tradition? Because you said after most of the countries have realized of what they've been colonized and they now gained back their independence, they went back to their roots. Why is it difficult for us, for Africans, to go back to our roots? I'm not saying we should do things the way we used to do, but in terms of the principality, in terms of the principles that we had as African people, why is it so difficult to retreat back and ensure that we start into those principles and move forward, even if we can adopt other people's ways of doing things? Because I don't think there's a problem in doing that, for as long as they're going to lead us into a prosperous agenda that we have set for ourselves. I don't think that would be a problem. But in terms of having our own principles and moving forward, are we doing enough? And why haven't we retreated back?
I think because of the traces of, I will say the footsteps tsa go tlela morago
Yeah.
and unsimple to find.
Okay.
I was listening to something during the week. This guy is a fashion designer.
Okay.
He was asked, he's doing closer clothes.
Okay.
Uh, you know, closer clothes were influenced by British.
Inclusive of Soto clothing now.
I don't know where.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'll explain a bit after you. Yeah.
okay. So meaning that the way they dressed up, it was influenced by closer people because of they lack the gentleness in that clothing. So it became part of them. So hence I'm saying it's very difficult for us to find traces of our culture or di tsamayuang, like on the serious note, not into the certain Zulus are doing this, and there's an influence in everything that we are doing. So rather, I'll say if we begin saying we start afresh from what we have now and do it in the form where this is us as Black people.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking, and I think now it is, you're answering in a perspective of adopting some of the things that we have seen as good and progressive from maybe other cultures like Western cultures. And for me, I'm not into that. I'm not even bothered by that. But what I'm bothered about is the principality, the principle there, who we are, the inner side of us, because I think that's where we lack much. For instance, let's take the for instance, I always especially at work, we also work with white people, and there's this lady I always sometimes try to get. So I would say to her, I'd like to marry you. I'd like to have what is this, polygamy.
Oh,
I like to have polygamy, and I'd like you to be one of my wives. So she would say, nah, we don't have that in our culture. We don't believe in that and stuff like that.
okay.
And if you trace back in our cultures and morality, the reason why polygamy was created, it was because they wanted. We have been uneven in terms of the numbers, male versus females. So the elders were asking themselves, what are we going to do with this portion that is not being married? What are we going to do with such people? And it was decided that, okay, because these people also need love, these people also have their own needs. So we should take care of them.
Yeah.
And
what do you mean by needs?
It was concluded that those who can afford, so those who had wealth, enough wealth, can be allowed to marry as much as they can, so that they can take care of those women. Because each and every woman needed to have her own house or her own household. Then when you check on the Western culture, they neglected those people who did not have their own partners, and they created what we call today the prostitutes, so that men can also visit them if maybe they wanted something outside. So that's how the prostitution was created. And we adopted it once our colonizers became this side. And now we started to dehumanize polygamy. And we see it as something that is inferior. Crazy. But it was created for morality's sake, not to despise other women. It was to at least to give dignity to each and every woman. So that's where I'm asking. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Mtlahoma?
I would like to hear that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think we have a beautiful country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very beautiful.
Absolutely.
And unique.
Yeah.
However, I think we are losing or have lost authenticity along the way.
In what sense?
everything that is presented to us,
Yeah.
we're just
We eat.
taking.
Okay.
We just taking everything. I was so shocked that in South Africa we are now celebrating Halloween. What is that?
Khutsu. Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
You are right.
Just hold that thought. Ne?
She's right, man.
When is African Day?
September, May, June,
No.
July, August.
You see, no, I'm just referring to whatever that we have just
Yeah.
said. It is now on the 25th of May.
25th of May.
Just remember.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Ne? I agree
25th
with
of
you.
May.
We are the Rainbow Nation. Yeah.
But like Tlauwe said, we embrace our uniqueness as a Rainbow Nation. Not to say, as a Rainbow Nation, we need to adopt other people, everything. And I think in our Rainbow Nation, it is inclusive of each and every culture that is resided in the world. And I think we should be leaders in that sense. But hey, continue the analogy.
Yeah. So we're just taking everything. Oh, sorry. As a result, I don't think I think foreign countries really appreciate what we have. I think
I
they
believe
do.
because I've seen something on TikTok, but yeah,
I think they do.
Okay.
How we converse, we can talk. We can like text using five languages in one sentence
that are different.
Using
Xhosa, Sotho, Pedi,
the Zulu, you know,
and Afrikaans.
And many countries don't do that. So it's such a beautiful thing, you know. And this challenges TikTok.
Yeah.
Dance, like we are up there.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
But I was quite sad. Hore, this King Jolabam.
Oh yeah.
It has been doing amazing on the socials. Absolutely. Why did they feel they need Yaweza remix with a global artist, Lebena Boy? Already it got the exposure that it needed. Like Yani Yanomqebo, King Pinayo, Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Why feel the need Yaweza? Yeah, feature international people
Artists,
to make your song that worthy because already people can see your work.
Exactly.
Why do we feel that we need to be validated by international artists? Have you seen how excited we become whenever Black Coffee post a picture trick? We get like, hey, you know, but Hared appreciate it amongst ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, on that. It's I don't know. It's an African thing or what. Yeah.
But I don't think it's an African thing. Like Tlauwe said, I've mentioned. Have you seen the Nigerians on social media? Even if they see maybe their people have made a blunder or flop, they will defend with their last drop or with their last might.
Yeah, I think we're trying so hard to look like other countries.
Yeah.
For example, Hanerohola, Kota Salili, the chips a chapaloni, le rashene, highly fancy.
Yeah.
But now, tlametse belly, peti, ibeli lettuce, ibe like all that junk.
That gigantic quarter.
How Americans eat.
Exactly.
Baba.
And the thing on Americans, speaking of Americans, in most cases they always feel amazed when they eat KFC this side because the chicken is real.
Exactly.
That side is not real. That's why you have a big size of a chicken.
Baba.
Yeah.
Okay, now we re more advanced. Sa kgona ho kena Woolies right now.
Yeah.
Kgona ho reka di wrap. Why o betsa wrap ya mokgodo?
Yeah. We're blending, lady.
No, man.
Problem is diversity.
I can't need.
Mm.
No, there's no need.
Yeah.
Abana like people travel from foreign places badly to see this beautiful country,
Africa, South Africa.
you know,
And to seek new things.
to seek new things.
Yeah.
But then we're adopting.
But now we're trying so hard to look like them.
And I've seen Americans also, sorry to interject, I've seen also Americans have been saying that it's easier to settle in South Africa because it's almost similar to what they are used to in America.
Yeah.
You wanted to say something?
Yeah, then how do we influence our brothers and sisters that have lost the meaning of South Africa?
For me, hence I was coming to the part of principality. We have lost ourselves into understanding ourselves because principality is not a matter of what should have been written down so that we can be understood. It's something that is passes from generation to generation. So that morality, I think we are the problems, the generation of maybe 70s, a little bit of late 70s, then 80s and 90s. I think we are the problems because what I've seen also when I was working at the Department of Education, to one of the schools, at the public schools, I've worked into 2 public schools. And what I've seen is people who are parenting now are the 80s and the 90s. And in most cases, they don't attend the parents' meetings. It is always the grandparents who are attending those. The only time we go and attend the meetings, or the only time we go to school, it's when we are furious and we're gonna fight and say we have beaten or chastised my child.
Yeah.
You know, when you as new guy, you see that this child is going out of line and you try to reprimand him or her, then I'll come. Hey, give one how do we so we can tell how.
Yeah.
So I think we have started as the biggest problem. And here's the thing that pained me. I used to reprimand this young man when he was growing up. And her mother reprimanded me and say, "Hey, Oskaleka, anyani."
Yeah.
But it pains me because now he was now involved into drugs. And now you are asked to help. But we have seen the behavior from the beginning. And when we saw it be fit to reprimand that behavior at an early stage, as the Soto saying says, "Ekojwa isalameets," you know, and I was harshly reprimanded against that, against correcting what I saw as a future or potential disregard of that particular young man.
Because you can always sense of it.
Exactly. Now we are playing a catch-up so that he can become a better person now. So I think for me, and this is my opinion, I think we have also contributed into how children behaves nowadays. Because even if we saw a parent who was not your biological parent, but you couldn't stay with a lady just kissing and romancing in front of the street and on day broad light, But nowadays it happens.
I have 2 things
Yeah.
to say.
Okay.
I want to conclude on what we were talking about first.
Yes.
When I was in Germany.
Oh yeah. You are coming from Germany. Yeah. You are staying in Dortmund, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And twinning now.
What really fascinated me was that whenever a South African cannot articulate themselves in English, we normally laugh, we mock those people because not knowing English, you are...
It's a definition of intelligence and
Yeah,
success.
But I've noticed that many Germans don't even know English.
Many Europeans, have you seen even on soccer?
They don't know English. So each time we had to work or attend a meeting, they would look for a translator.
Yeah.
Baba.
Yeah.
And can you imagine how how European countries are developed? Like they're doing great things,
Yeah.
but they cannot articulate themselves in English. And yet, Rona, we are still a developing country. Yeah, we have
And
a lot
and
of problems.
and that's their
Yeah,
language as
That's
well.
their
right.
language.
Because it includes Latin, it includes German, it includes Greek and stuff. Then they make it English.
And they are so okay, you know. They love who
feedback,
they
yeah,
are, they appreciate their languages.
Exactly.
But here it's a different case. Ore ha motho a bua Sesotho, ore yo a hle o se wa tla re emella ka
Chuma,
Sotho.
yes, yeah.
Wa bo?
Yeah.
Ha kgone ho bua English. Wa bo? So we are the problem, Rona.
So do you think it also includes the issue of tribalism?
Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately. Going back to taba ena ya di-rights,
Yeah.
I think, like I mentioned earlier on, that we were raised on tough love.
Oh yeah.
We didn't respond. We didn't have our thinking when we were told. Like we just followed. So the parents is no genana, like you said, give my 90s, give the my 80s.
But it's in tough love.
But was in tough love. But then in tough love, you did some collateral damage at some point. Because no, Jay, we are adults who cannot express ourselves because it's a little bit follow. Abo? Also, it has shaped great leaders because only understanding what is wrong and what is good. So no Janana, like Hanka Sheba, everyone wants to make it bophelong. Ke taba ya hore a ke batle ho phela the way ke phetseng ka teng. Wa bo?
Exactly.
Ha ke batle hore ngwana ka je maskopa a se ka lunch because that's so evenly parenting. We're trying so hard to shift away from how we were raised. We want to instill the principles tsa rona no jenana. Wa bo? So
But and that is the thing. Have we thought, new guy, about those things? Say, now I go with roots or some of the things in which our parents have taught us. Have we thought about that? We almost think of the negatives. Have you also thought about the positives that we have gained through that treatment or through that tough love that we gained or we received from our parents? Have we thought into that space that we looked into a negative eye? Have we also thought about the positiveness that brought about how we are shaped and how our upbringing was shaped and how tough we are now? We are no longer, we are not crybabies like
Yeah.
the thing that I'm seeing now.
Yes, definitely. I was gonna bring some pens. Um, definitely, Prof.
But have you seen the positives inside of those um, upbringing that we received?
yeah,
Too big,
totally.
man. Too
Totally.
Do we consider when we take decisions for our children? Because it seems like we want to eradicate everything and say, whatever my parents taught me, it needs to be opposite. Whatever lifestyle that I've lived, it needs to be opposite to mine.
only bad things that you don't want to go through them. I'll say you eradicate them. So, other than that, most of things they shape us very well.
Okay.
I think one of the factors or the major factors that influenced the 80s le the 90s ke poverty.
Yeah.
Baba.
Okay. Yeah.
So right now, the times are changing, obviously, and you are working. Every parent is working so hard to give their kids a better
Perfect.
future. but at the same time, by destroy. Like everything in one batlang, it's on the fingertips. Abo.
How do we get it?
How can we get it anything?
Yeah.
So like hona ke gona ba enabling like bad behavior.
Correctly so. Like I will agree. I was saying to my woman, was some and we are going everything. But at his age,
Well, no, no,
in six it's like you are taking away responsibility. He needs to learn. My mom shaped me very well. So I wouldn't let my kids behave other way around. Yes, because the middle of I know the feeling ya ya school on sakera. O tlamehile lo fola line mo phako.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do my best to get a sure bananas captain.
Lunchbox.
And what they do now, they made a choice. Okay, you see, it's I could some things you can make them have choice. But on the seriousness of life, I'm too harsh. The way you would I still apply some of things.
And I think our Tlahua answered it very nicely into saying everything we have left it into the fingertips of everything. Because I was going to ask you again, or if that is the case where we only get rid of negative things that we received, why are we not progressing? Why are we not progressing? Because it means we are combining only the positives that we received and also the positives that are happening right now. So I think we should have been a progressive nation, but we are not getting there. But also speaking of what we have said, you remind me of that video I've shown you about the children of China.
Yeah.
Of starting to do things practically from the infancy age.
Education.
So that this teaches us we don't have to wait for a child to reach 13 or 14 to go to high school in order for us to make them to work on something or to start working or to start doing house chores, And yeah, I think in closing, what are your closing remarks and what do you think of the politics of our country?
Yo, Shem. They were controversial a lot.
Okay. We'd like to hear your opinion.
In closing,
Yeah.
with regarding everything that
Yes,
that we have spoken about it, I think we should be able to like draw a line somewhere.
Okay.
But the like too much of everything equals.
Yeah.
So we need to be able to draw the line. Jalo fa ngwana lerato le senyege-nyege la senya.
Yes. I like that.
Oh, the state of our country, yatshosa a lot. It's also heartbreaking at the same time. So, on that note, get 29 May, guys. Let's go vote. The South Africans Badulanko UK went out in numbers today. Went out in numbers today to vote. And Bona, where they're staying, who's sharp. So Rona, we are bottom of the barrel currently.
Yeah.
So Mohapi wa Sharpeville, hauna choice ya go ska lo vote abuti. So please, cause load shedding yatla no. Abo, le metsi batho ba kwala. So you have no reason not to vote. So we can become the change that we want. So let's do the right thing and stop vibing only. Yeah.
Tangos.
Man,
They knew.
she said it all, but then I want to say this on that note of London.
Yeah.
It's London.
UK. Yeah.
You can, yes. What they said, these people, they said they want to see a country progress, as they are going to vote. But then when we don't care. We talk one like everything. Life is sharp, man.
So meaning you think they want to return back, but to a safer space?
Yes, probably. I think they wanna, because some of them they've said, there was the one on America said, there are families who still here. You see, so they're doing that for their family. So like I always say, nahanela the future. Yeah, ditloholo, bana ba gago, whatsoever your generation. If we don't do it now, who's gonna do it? I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, man. I think for me, we need strong leaders who are going to influence us to have patriotism, because I think we lack that. The flag doesn't mean anything to us. Our country doesn't mean anything to us. We just do it. But there's certain group of people that I like. Afrikaners.
Yeah, they love.
They are the ones who are fighting for this country.
Definitely.
Like they will kill for this country.
Definitely.
And we need such patriotism. And I feel like at some point I was feeling like we should, like before, when in around 1994, 5, 6,
that unity.
I think almost each and every household had a South African flag. And it brought about that spark of wanting to fight for your country. Even if you had nothing, we were staying in squatter camps and we were staying in shacks. But you had that thing to fight for your country. But nowadays it's like, nah, man, these politicians have changed everything. But in so saying, I'm saying, Lena, it is very important, guys. I know, I also agree with the notion of saying one vote doesn't make a change, but a collective vote makes a huge change.
Definitely.
Your sentiments or your thoughts of a certain political grouping or a certain political leader or party, there's someone who's thinking the very same way that we are thinking. So if you combine those votes and you make it a one vote, it becomes your voice into a parliament. But also, I'd like to urge our leaders as well to say, it is not about your personal interest or your personal politicking, but it's all about the people's progression and the nation's progression. Because no matter how young we are, no matter how young we are, we're still gonna leave this planet Earth.
Definitely.
And our upcoming generation are the ones who are going to suffer.
Are doomed.
Because check, man, we are still suffering from the treaties that we signed for over 40 years. Others are yet to end in 2026, others in 2020. And there are others that we have signed in recent years that are going to end in 2050.
I always say, Prof.
Yeah.
The 1960 people, they will say they want freedom for generation to come, and it was youth who standing.
Yeah.
So Ronaldo Palwaki or now to make that change.
And I think youth is also standing, and I think, and I'm not trying to canvass for any political party, but I think EFF gave us a voice as youth, and I think we need to thank PAC, we need to thank ANC, we need to thank Azapo for what they did into liberating us politically. But in terms of economics, I think the youth of today are their own agenda nowadays.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we seek freedom of expression, freedom of politicking, but now we are seeking the freedom of economic emancipation.
That's what
that's what we have to work. Please follow us on all our social media platforms, the Game Changers or the Game Changers Evolution or the GC podcast on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, and please subscribe on our YouTube channel, which is the Game Changers Evolution or the Game Changers podcast. New guy?
Khotso. Lady, voice code. On that note, we are closing. Thank you.
I am Mahabim Geretla. I am the cycle breaker. I am struggling to become a remarkable personage. I thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, yo.
so tsana Facebook
ka mo motseng ne
se ke bone se khona e tla ka camera